Okay, guys, Stone Guy 223 here. I'm usually not a conspiracy theorist, but coming home from a match. I'm in South Georgia, coming out of Alabama. Check this shit out. UN. Coming out of Alabama. UN trucks. These look like brand new vehicles. Not sure what the hell is going on with this, or why we got UN trucks coming out of Alabama, or at least they're Alabama truckers. No identification on them, just UN trucks. Yeah, these are definitely brand new. All the furniture's brand new on them. I wonder what the hell's up with that.
There is a new worry on our southern border tonight, with border agents overwhelmed by this huge recent surge in illegal immigrants. The cartels are now taking advantage.
Megan, let me just say this. What I watched over the last few days is so problematic that what I'm about to say on your show is the most important thing I've ever said on your show. We have so many problems facing this country. We know them all, especially the major ones: joblessness, welfare, national security, so on and so on. And as I stood on that border and I watched those cartels drag over all the things they did, I went over to the bus depots and watched thousands upon thousands of illegal aliens be bussed around almost as if they were at Disneyland, being sent off to somewhere USA. All I could think was that all those major problems just became a major epidemic. Our Border Patrol, I met with the Border Patrol today. I met with them secretly. They told me the morale is down. The criminals that are coming through this country is earth-shattering. And I can tell you this, I feel that our country and the future of our children have officially fallen off the cliff.
Now a closer look at those militants tearing Iraq apart, boasting of their brutality with those images we showed you at the top. Tonight we're learning more about them and about the man who leads them. He spent years in U.S. custody.
They have a strategy, and it's working. They use social media as a weapon. Many of the images in this story come from accounts associated with ISIS and can't be verified. Leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was in U.S. custody in Iraq for 4 years. When he was released in 2009, his parting words to U.S. troops: "I'll see you in New York."
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton weighing in on the controversial prisoner swap of 5 Taliban leaders for Sergeant Bo Bergdahl's freedom. She was asked if the exchange was like making a deal with the devil. Here's her answer.
Did he make a deal with the devil?
If you look at what the factors were going into the decision, of course there are competing interests and values.
I'd like to say to Bo right now, who's having trouble speaking English, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Zayabayem. I'm your father, Bo. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Zayabayem. I'm your father, Bo.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that one of the detainees whose return has already told his family that he plans on waging war on America. So what this president did is he made a deal with the devil for a deserter, a man who didn't even like America.
In the spotlight tonight, America's gun problem. Yesterday morning, a 15-year-old student opened fire at Reynolds High School in Troutdale, Oregon, injuring a teacher and killing a fellow student before turning the gun on himself.
My biggest frustration so far is the fact that this society has not been willing to take some basic steps to keep guns out of the hands of people who can do just unbelievable damage.
President Obama is rallying supporters of gay rights. He spoke at a fundraiser in New York City last night for political donors who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. He believes more needs to be done overseas.
There are still Americans out there who are vulnerable and alone and still need our support. So we can't stop. We've got to keep fighting.
The president is promising to sign an executive order ending workplace discrimination by federal contractors based on sexual orientation. That would affect 14 million employees.
I'm here to actually talk to you guys really quickly about this flag. This flag is not that old. This flag is the symbol of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer pride. So maybe all of you could help me read what it says out loud on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Who I am is what fulfills me, and what fulfills the vision I have of the world.
One high school salutatorian banned from discussing his faith in a graduation speech. He fought back this week. Take a listen.
In coming before you today, I presented 3 drafts of my speech. All of them denied on the account of my desire to share my personal thoughts and inspiration to you in my Christian faith.
It wasn't one that your school wanted you to share. You had heard 3 times that you couldn't include faith. What did the school tell you?
That's right. Now, the first and second times I submitted my speech last week, the school told me, as well as their attorneys, that any reference to God or Jesus or prayer of any kind was unconstitutional and they would pull the mic on me. Additionally, the third time I turned my speech in, they denied it and handed it back to me with God or any reference to my faith blacked out in black marker.
I mean, but look, all of those, well, some would call them threats against your freedom of speech and religion.
We're going to make sure we pay attention to this because this type of thing is happening more often than not these days, it seems. And it's a sad reality that this type of hostility has to go on.
I go anywhere Greater Cleveland calls.
43-year-old Doug Odalecki admits that he's armed when he's on the streets, but it's with a video camera. And last Friday night, he captured this run-in with police.
You're going to be cited if you don't get rid of the turn now.
Like I said, I can't get rid of it, so you got to do what you got to do.
The Parma man runs the Greater Cleveland Cop Block, which, according to Odalecki, holds police accountable for their actions. Last week, he took his camera to the corner of State and Brook Park Roads, where he held up a sign warning drivers that an OVI checkpoint was down the street. The sign said, "Checkpoint ahead, turn now." He said he's not for drunk driving. He's just against what he considers an abuse of power.
It is a Nazi-esque style checkpoint. It is a papers, please type checkpoint. These guys are not out there for your safety or anything like that, so if you think that, think again.
Our sobriety checkpoint is all about educating the public, and we need them to come through the checkpoint to educate them.
The altercation was caught on camera as Odalecki insisted he had a right to warn drivers. According to state law, the police have to alert the public a few days before a checkpoint's set up. But in this case, they didn't like that he was telling drivers to, quote, turn now.
So why is this thought to be a good idea to actually bring these high caliber weapons into U.S. streets?
I don't think it's a good idea. High caliber weapons are extremely dangerous. This type of velocity is not necessary. I spent 24 years in the Philadelphia Police Department. I am fearful of this type of police chief getting this type of equipment.
Welcome to the news at 9, and we start with breaking news. A scare for commuters in Weehawken after a threat near the Lincoln Tunnel.
Transformed Weehawken into an armed camp. Authorities swarm the streets with heavy weapons, rifles drawn, canine units making sweeps. Police shut down 19th Street, not far from the Lincoln Tunnel. Police even ordered some passengers off this Hudson-Bergen light rail train. Many people seem stunned and visibly upset by the huge show of force.
I did see an Army vehicle going by, and there were a lot of helicopters.
Police say the caller also said he had a gun and various chemicals. Authorities pinged or traced the call.
Well, a man accused of setting off a manhunt on the seacoast following a violent confrontation with police.
No one was hit by the gunfire. And backup arrived from across the region, including federal agents. Sections of routes 150 and 107 were shut down. A helicopter searched the wooded area overhead. An unsettling scene for people living here.
It's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who the person is.